Hey, it's Yankee, and I wanted to show you my latest project or acquisition, whatever you want to call it. And even though I'm not trying to make vids, in fact I didn't plan on making this one, it just kept on eating away at me, and I decided to turn it into a vid. So I'm actually doing this backwards. I've already completed this project, and I'm kind of introducing you to it at the end when I'm done with it and it's restored and working. But when I originally got it, it came out of a shed and had been sitting in there, I know, for over a decade. My neighbor says it's been sitting in there for almost 15 years, and he put it away because it was having bad gas problems, it sounds like, and it was one of those frustrating moments, and he just left it in there. And he's asked me to take it if I wanted it over, a couple times over the years, and I've got enough projects and enough things to do, and I don't need a snowblower because I have this one. Yeah, this is a snowblower. So I really don't need that one. Plus I got another one that's on track, so I didn't need this snowblower or another project. But I just can't, I can't stand to see stuff like this just get trashed for no reason. I took this out of the shed, and I immediately went to the carburetor. I mean, the gas and the mixture was almost like Jello in there. And the reason why I'm putting this up is because, well, there's a couple reasons. As a prepper, this might come in real handy. Even though this is just a snowblower, this is the same way all carburetors really work. It's the same method you're going to use in all of them, and you can, whether it's a motorcycle or a car, if you do it this way, you're most likely going, if it's a carburetor problem, you're most likely going to solve that. I see a lot of free machines being given away because people don't know how to take care of their stuff anymore, and they'd just rather go out and buy a new one, and they give it away or they trash it. And as the economy gets worse, I don't know, that's what kept on eating away at me with this video, is I thought, if you guys are looking for extra money, this is an excellent way to do it. I know a lot of retired guys that do that. They'll get free lawnmowers and all kinds of other yard landscaping equipment and fix it up and then resell them. And if you're unemployed right now or you're looking for some extra cash, this is an excellent way to do it. It's just to get some free stuff, shop the free stuff on Craigslist and then sell it. I'm not going to do that with this one. My wife makes fun of me all the time because I can never sell anything. This is probably, something I'll let the kids use on the sidewalks and play around with now that I've got it going. But it works real good now. Just a few days ago, this was completely non-working, totally gummed up and ready to be thrown away. So let me show you some of, just a quick overview of some of the tips of taking care of your machines and cleaning out a carburetor. Now what I'm going to do is take this carburetor off, just give you a quick overview of this. Only 2 bolts back here, disconnect all the linkage, strip the carburetor down. There's probably 2 or 3 jets in the whole thing, and I'm going to soak it down in full strength injector cleaner that I keep in a mayonnaise jar, and I just fill it up as I need it, just for doing jobs like this. Basically totally clean up that carburetor. I'll probably soak it down for 2 or 3 days. It'll take me 15 minutes to take the carburetor off. After 2 or 3 days, I'll scrub it up with some wire brushes and blow it out with compressed air. Now it won't do me any good to clean this carburetor up if I don't pay attention to the priming bulb as well. I'll take this off and rinse it out so I don't blow any old gas or varnish down into the carburetor once I get it cleaned up. And I'll also take off the tank and thoroughly rinse out the tank. I'll just take some fresh gas, I'll pour out all the old gas on the fire pit, pour in some fresh gas, rinse it up, and then pour that out as well. And make sure, if need be, I'll replace them. I don't think I'm going to, but I'll make sure I rinse out all my tubes because I don't want any varnish or crud going back into the carburetor once I clean it up. But this will only take me 15 minutes and maybe 2 or 3 days of soaking it down. So I've got it completely off now. There's one gasket on there, and I'm just going to leave that be. There's some linkage here for the choke, and then there's the throttle cable itself. Just take note on how it goes on and put it back the way you found it. You've got your idle set here, that screw down there. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, I don't know, the piston looks great. No scoring, nothing burnt, and it just all looks good in there. So that's one of the motivators of putting this back together and getting it running again, is I think it's in pretty good shape. Now there's the carburetor itself. Once I've got it off, and I'm going to strip this down, take the bowl out, take the jet out of there, and there's a couple jets. One is the adjustment screw, and then there's a jet up here too. I'll take that all off, and then I'll soak that all down. Anyway, I stripped that down. I'm actually going to take these two ends off and soak that down as well. There's one gasket that goes around the bowl on the bottom, and don't soak that down. Don't soak a gasket down if you can help it. Let it dry out and it'll shrink a little bit. If you put it in the cleaner, it'll actually expand, and it'll be a disaster for you when you go to replace everything. You can just see the varnish and the crap in there, man. It's just disgusting, and it smells like hell. And if you're wondering why I'm working on the floor of my garage, because this is my life. I don't care how much room I have. I've got a big desk in here, a big table. This is my life, man. All right, this is the way I operate. You can give me all the crap you want. This is just the way I work. If I have a clean space, I'm going to fill it up with stuff and get another project going. And it's always been this way, so I just go with it now. I don't even try to fight it anymore. You know, I figure, you know, a more simple mind could have everything organized because they have to, because they don't know where everything is. But a more complicated mind like mine, see, I can have things in total chaos because I still, you know, my mind is still able to know where everything is. So why bother having everything in order when, you know, I can just live my life in total chaos like this and end up working on the floor of the garage for situations like this. Because I even got this, you know, that antique oil burner going at the same time. So I got all these projects going, you know, and this is just the way my life is, okay? So just shut up. Okay, this I want to pass on to you for sure. Just a quick overview of how to troubleshoot a carburetor once you've narrowed it down that you got a fuel problem. And most of the time it's going to be a carburetor issue. I mean, go for the easy stuff first. Change your fuel filter and you know, even your lines, just to make sure you're not getting any problems there. But if you've nailed it down to your carburetor and you're not getting any fuel, so we're troubleshooting here. If you're not getting any fuel, most of the time it's your can I get that in the focus? It's your bowl float needle. That's what it looks like. Most of the time they're going to look like that, especially in small motors. And that'll fit right behind here. It'll fit right in, I know this is terrible, right where my middle finger is. That is your bowl float needle seat right in there. And a lot of times that'll get gummed up if the gas has been sitting in there too long. And that will definitely give you some problems. You won't get any fuel. Now the needle valve that goes in the float bowl, it'll sit right in there like I was showing you. And it's connected to that toilet bowl seat looking thing. Now what's cool about this is, even though this isn't a very good camera for this, I'm trying my best for you here, okay? I'm wasting my time maybe. But all of them pretty much work this way. This is the assembly put together. The bowl float needle's right there, and it hooks on to this, basically a cork or a flotation device, this toilet seat looking thing, and that's what controls the flow of fuel. And that needle valve will let fuel in or let fuel out depending on if it's working properly. And when you get bad gas in there, it's very easy to get plugged and it will not allow gas to get through. So if you're not getting fuel, that's probably 9 times out of 10 that's going to be your issue right there. And remember, this goes for, I mean, this is basically how every carburetor works in vehicles. I don't care what it is. Motorcycles, you know, you want to get that old bike running again. This is probably where your problems are going to be. You got to clean up that carburetor. Now you can also buy carburetor kits, and that makes it a lot easier. And sometimes that's the only way you can do it because it's so plugged up or it's got something in there you just can't get out. But in this case, I just wanted to see if I could do it without you know, buying anything. So I soaked it down. And what I usually soak it down with is like sea foam or injector cleaner, you know, pure carburetor cleaner. Remember, that stuff is so potent. You know, one little bottle, one little pint, you know, goes in like 20 gallons of gas. And I just use it pure, take everything apart and soak it down. And anyway, that needle valve is your biggest problem when you're not getting gas. So if you're troubleshooting and you're not getting gas, that's going to be your issue most of the time. Now, if your carburetor or whatever you're working on, your machine is hunting, and that's where it'll go, Okay, that's called hunting. When it's going up and down, it's hunting. That's going to be your little side valve here. Right here. That'll go right in there on this one most of the time. You'll find them on their, looking straight out at you. It'll be this way, not down like this one, but onto the side. And that, you call it a valve or a needle, but that can also get plugged. And usually when it's hunting, that's your issue. It's not that you're not getting gas, but it's just not running right. And then of course you got your mixture needle here, and you got to figure out where it's going to operate optimum. Now the worst valve to deal with is your float bowl valve, because that's the one that gets it the worst. And I'll show you how to clean that up too. But that's got a million holes in it usually, and you got to really soak that down and scrub the hell out of it, and then blow it out. It's good to have a compressor for all this, just to blow it all out. But when you're troubleshooting a carburetor, most of the time that's your problem. It's going to be your float bowl needle, and then if it's hunting or not operating right, you just got to take that side valve out and clean it up. Okay, again, I spent actually less than 15 minutes. It was 10 minutes to take this entire carburetor apart. Now I'm just going to take every one of these little parts, the needle valves, everything, the bowl, carburetor itself, and I'm going to soak it all down. Now I don't want to soak down any gaskets, so I took special care to take those off, so I wouldn't soak those down. But otherwise, anything else, I don't know. Look at that. That's so crapped up. I'm going to put that in there too. Anything basically that needs to be cleaned up and is not a gasket, I'll stick in there. And we'll let that sit for, I'll just forget about it for about 2 or 3 days. Okay, I have reassembled the carburetor, and now I'm going to stick it right back on the snowblower and see if I can fire it up. See, this is a great example of how insane some engineers really are, and how they put the carburetor bolt that you attach it to the cylinder with, behind as much crap as they possibly can to make it, near impossible to either get off or put back on, at least without, a lot of broken knuckles and bitching and moaning because you can't, get a socket onto the thing, and you have to sit here and piddle around with a little open end wrench to do it. And they do this on purpose. See, they're insane, and they're trying to drive everybody else insane. That's why they do it. Now I'll reattach the primer bulb here. Hose going to the primer bulb, and then the gas tank itself. Alright, and we got some gas in there already. I've already put that in there. I'm just going to turn this over first time and fire it up right in front of you. Try this again. Oh yeah! Anyway, that's the end of the story. I had the advantage here because I knew how it was going to end, but for whatever it's worth, I hope that helps somebody. And you could, if you wanted to make a little extra money, you could, find these free machines and build them up and resell them. I mean, this thing, when I looked on eBay at them, they're running anywhere between $200 and $300. Even on Craigslist, I seen them, around $200, $250. And this only cost me an hour of my time tinkering around, and I like this kind of stuff. Anyway, so, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.